What is up? What is up? I have a lot to explain today. I actually didn't think I was gonna come on live today. I wasn't supposed to. I was gonna ultimately take it off because I am like I know I don't look sick, but I'm feeling like just super sick. I have a bad headache, body aches. My throat feels crazy. If you can tell my voice is coming out a little bit weirder. Um, but I'm happy that I'm able to be going live today. That's something, right? I think someone said what's up. Let me see who that was. Hey, what is up, the angry cynic? But no, yeah, so I ended up like I just don't feel good at all. But I decided to just pop out for today and just do a little bit of studying because I don't want to. If I ended up going to work today, you can kind of hear it in my voice. That's so crazy. But if I ended up going to work today, I probably wouldn't have went live and I would have just told y'all. But because I'm like, whatever, like I'm here. I'm gonna be home anyway. Let me just talk in like a lower voice. Maybe that should help. Well, not help, because probably talking is probably the worst thing that I can do. But we are on day 46, and I just kind of wanted to immediately jump into some of the studying that I need to get done. I meant to kind of quiz myself when it came to the file system, so I'm gonna see if maybe I could find a website like just a mini quiz for the operating system. Let's see, file system, to see if like I understand anything. If not, I'll probably have to do the quiz another day. But I took a lot of notes on the filing system, so I want to see if I could remember some things. I think the next thing that we get into though is about downloading file systems. I know I'm not showing y'all the screen just yet. You gotta go and see. It says file system types and features. Yeah, pretty much got all of those. I don't know, because these are called operating system concepts, like the kernel, RAM. I know RAM. And I kind of know the boot process for loading OS files into the RAM. I don't really know what kernel is. I guess that's the core of the OS, manages hardware, software. But I don't believe I learned that at all. Then they have file versus folder, file naming, copy versus cut, recycle bin. And the only thing is though, is that with Professor Messer's course on file systems, I don't think he gets that deep into the file systems. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but I don't think he did. Let me see. Because if he ends up like kind of spinning the block on file systems, then I might just listen to the courses. But yeah, he only had one video. Unless maybe he explained it when it comes to the window like command lines or window settings. I'm not too sure. He has Linux. And then he gets into a bunch of different things. He doesn't. I'm surprised he doesn't do Mac OS. He did a deep dive into Windows, but not Mac OS. But yeah, so it's kind of like maybe he doesn't do absolutely everything. I guess you got to do. Damn, I'm sick. I guess you got to do a part of some things by yourself. So I think currently, after taking all these notes for the operating system or the file systems, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump this camera over here. Gotta make sure this says day 46. Go crazy. There we go. Day 46. And then, oh, I don't even have this camera ready. Oops. My fault, y'all. My fault. I don't have my secondary camera. My secondary camera. All right, let's go. Perfect. It's cleaned. We also were getting a little bit into some flashcards, which I thought was nice. Oh shoot, I forgot I just stayed. I stayed on that screen. Oh wait, no, that's why I forgot because I have to turn this on. Start the virtual camera. There we go. Perfection. Perfection, perfection, perfection. So we got to get a little bit into, we have basic file management. We already took down a lot of the file systems and what journaling means, which I guess a lot of this is just kind of like, what is it called? Depth, like vocabulary in a way. But we're probably gonna end up taking notes on everything here. So file versus folder. I'm assuming a file is what goes into the folder. The folder holds the information. Oh, you know what? I guess organizes the information. Oops. I put it backwards. I guess the file is what holds the data. But what I meant was like the folder holds the files, if that makes sense. But now that I'm thinking about it, you could put a folder inside of a folder. But the folder is kind of like well, I guess I like the way they said it, the directory. I was going to say inventory, but okay. And then we can go organizes files. And y'all, I had like a crazy like little thing that happened today because I went to urgent care. Cause like the back of my throat is literally red. I have like red bumps all along the back of my throat. I'm like, oh, I must have strep throat. As I'm like telling him my symptoms, he's like cutting me off, right? Like he's not trying to listen to anything that I'm saying, like as if I was lying. I'm like, my voice literally sounds different. Like I know I'm not like sniffly, like I know I don't look sick, but trust me, I'm sick. And I was telling him all my symptoms, like body aches and stuff like that. Tell me why he sits there and he's like, well, because it's just a virus, I can't really give you 3 days off from work. I'm like, okay, well that's fine. I don't need 3 days. He was like, I can do 1 or 2. I was like, I'll do 2. He sits there, gives me a paper that only says 1 day off. So I walk back in there and I'm like, oh, I thought we agreed on doing 2. This is only 1 day off. He's like, oh, it is 2 days off. I'm like, no, it's not. It literally said that I'm excused from work from the 12th to the 13th. I'm like, that is 1 day off. Like, what are you talking about? And then he's like rereading it. I'm like, you're trying to like play on me. I don't know, because I know like I look young. So I feel like that a lot of people treat me a certain way because I look like a little kid. So, I felt like he was just trying to like, he thought I wasn't gonna look at it or care. Like, I don't know. He just was being weird. And he was already not trying to give me days off at all. He was like, well, why would you need days off if it's a virus? I'm like, because I'm sick and I just told you like that I just got sick. So it's probably gonna be worse tomorrow. Like, I just never had like that experience before. So I don't know if it was like, I don't know what the hell he was going on. So then I had to eventually go back in there because I left again. So we had went back in there and then I had somebody else basically do it for me because I'm like, at this point, he's not listening to me. And then as soon as this person goes in there and starts demanding it, he does it. I'm like, really? That's crazy. And I'm like, it's because of my age. I feel like people treat me a certain way because I look young. They think they can get away with it. Like, I just don't understand why he was acting like that. I was clearly sick. And I'm not even gonna lie, there's been times where I just went to urgent care with stomach pain. Stomach pain. And you can't even really prove stomach pain, right? You just say stomach pain, diarrhea, yada yada. Can't really prove it, so it doesn't obviously look like I'm sick, but I'm telling you I have stomach pain. And then it's like I was able to get 3 days off before. So I'm like, why are you trying to be weird? Like, I'm not saying like they can't do what he did, but he was just being weird from the jump. I'm like, okay, like I'm obviously sick. I don't know. He was treating me like I just wanted days off. I'm like, I legitimately can't go to work. I don't know. He was something else. But now we're taking a definition of kernel because I had this asked to me on a quiz before. I forgot exactly what it was. Or exactly what the question was, but all I do know is that kernel, I failed that question. I got it wrong. Legitimately failed that question and I got it wrong. So I'm like, now I gotta make sure I know what kernel is in software. So it says it's the core of the OS, manages hardware and software. Okay. And then we know what RAM is, so we don't really need to get into that, but let's do boot process here. And then that's loading OS files into the RAM. And I'm not gonna lie too, like with the YouTube video that I posted yesterday, which is so crazy because I actually had another video that was supposed to come out, but I didn't have enough time to edit it. So that video was filmed literally while I was on break. Like, or lunch, I believe I was on lunch. And I'm just like, that's crazy that like I just filmed that and I kind of didn't expect people to even watch it, and it's doing better than most of my other videos. I'm like, wow. That is insane. I do need to take a note on Chmod. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Goodness. So you gotta do change file permissions. But no, yeah, so I just uploaded that video and I was just talking like while I was sitting in the car on my lunch or whatever. And that honestly wasn't even supposed to be what the video was. The video was supposed to be, I think, about like I don't know, it was something along the same lines, but I changed it last minute because I'm like, whatever, this is my video. I'm just gonna talk about something that I feel like is on my heart. And I love how that's the one video I sat there and I didn't really plan and I kind of just said what I said. And then, like I said, it's doing so much better than the videos that I sit there and I like work so hard on. I'm like, really? Really? But I knew once I titled the video, what I titled it, I was like, oh yeah, this might be a good performing video. But that wasn't what the intention of the video. Like I was just talking and then I was trying to think of like what's a title that can kind of go with this. And then boom, I was like, damn, I did that. Low key, I'm not even gonna play. Alright, so let's go underline this. Oh, I hate that my voice sounds like this. Like I need that softness back in my voice, y'all. I don't know where the hell my voice is. No clue. So I think something that I could be doing is next we need to get into I think we're going to be doing installing. I don't know if it's installing operating system or if it's like installing Windows. I'm not too sure. I just know that that's the kind of the next thing that Professor Messer ends up getting into. So let me go and plug in these earphones so that we could take a couple of notes of what Professor Messer is saying. And like if I get, and the thing is too, I also gotta mention, I forgot that the person from the urgent care, he did ask, like he did kept trying to say like if it gets worse to come back, knowing it's gonna get worse because it's the first day. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think he was trying to run me of my money. He wanted me to go back in there and like pay that copay. You know what I mean? So now we're getting into the installations of the operating system. Oh damn, he's screaming. He is screaming. All right, let's see. So it's saying if you don't have an operating system on the computer, how can you install an operating system? I don't know where we're going with this, but he said this is like the chicken and the egg. I forgot that we have to kind of lay down the. Then this is a 60-minute video, y'all. This is a 60-minute video. I do know that you do need to know this. I don't know exactly how they ask the questions on the CompTIA A plus, but I do remember that they do care about knowing how to install the operating system. So I guess right now we're getting into the boot methods, which currently is going to be the USB storage. We got USB storage here. So I guess this is one common method because you basically have to, I think, what was it? You basically, hold on, because he's kind of taking his time. So we solved this problem by booting our system to an installation program. So we got to write that down. So boot system to the installation program. And then I guess the starting process, or one of the ways that you could do it is you could do it with USB storage. So that's good. Must be bootable. So you got to make sure that it's a bootable SP drive. So I got to make that like clear because my dumb self would sit there and just buy a USB and think that everything's going to go to plan. Goodness, I hate being sick, but you know, I just got to push through, man. I just got to push through. I want to stay consistent. I almost didn't go live today, man. Almost didn't go live today. I feel like crap, but the thing is that I was going to study anyway. At least just a little bit, right? Because, you know, even though I'm feeling sick, I want to get out the way. So it must be bootable. Computer must support booting from the USB. Okay, so I like that. So saying the computer must, but I think he said something about like motherboard. So I'm going to make sure that that's clear too, because I don't want to just say computer and then it doesn't match the motherboard. That would suck. There's also another one. If you can't use the USB storage, you could, I guess, use a network bond. So that's good. Or network and boot, my fault. So I guess, yeah, if you don't have access to the USB storage, then you would do a network boot. I wonder if they're talking about it here. Let me see. Install operating system, network boot, just to see if they have a different type of information. Go into AI mode. Stop playing. Oh. So I guess they have this thing called PXE, sometimes referred to as Pixie. Okay, I wouldn't have called that Pixie. I don't know. I would have just been like Pixie. Never mind. I guess I would. I guess I would. And then it has the name, which basically means the pre-boot execution, but they uppercase the X in execution. I don't know what that's about, but environment. So pre-boot execution environment. So that's good. Next is to perform. So I guess it needs to be compatible. They're saying that the Pixie needs to be compatible with the computer's functionality. So compatible with PC's functionality, if I can spell things. So there are plenty of free programs out there that will allow you to create a bootable USB stick. It's not the hardware that makes it bootable, it's the software. Oh, okay, that's nice to know. Now, yeah, because they mentioned how you could do it with the USB. Well, one way is doing it with the USB. They said another way, if you didn't have access to a USB, that you can go to the network boot, which is what I'm currently taking notes on. So I'm just assuming people probably mainly don't do it this way. But I guess they're just trying to let me know that there's ways you could do it. I'm pretty sure. I wonder, like, I can't wait to finally take the CompTIA A plus one of these days and kind of just see exactly what type of questions really be on there. Like, how much of this do I really need to know? But I'm getting a lot of this from Professor Messer. So part of me is thinking, like, he might know kind of what I need to know specifically for the test. Hopefully. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. PXE, if I can spell, bro. I don't know why I keep spelling funny. Excuse me. So he's kind of getting into detail. He was kind of getting into detail about everything that he said. The only thing is like, sometimes he does say a little bit more extra and kind of explaining things. And I'm like, I hope what he's explaining, because sometimes I can't really understand. Or like he'll be explaining, like I'm more of a visual learner. That's why I keep telling y'all, like I need to like read. So when he's like talking, that's like my hardest thing to like be able to like understand when he's saying stuff. So I'm hoping that he's writing down a lot of these things. But like I said, I guess I'll figure it out when I end up quizzing myself, which I do need to do a quiz on the file systems, which could definitely be helpful. I gotta make sure that I get that down pat. As y'all can see right here, I also made some flashcards the other day, specifically for the file system and the operating system. I don't know how clear it is on camera. Y'all can see that. Probably not, but yep. And then on the back, so I got some flashcards. I ain't playing. Like we're gonna pass this CompTIA A plus one of these days. So you can store many OS installation files on a solid state drive. To see, like he starts saying a lot, bro, and I'm like, what? Like I don't know how people can follow along if it's not written on the screen. Like I just lack that skill, bro. I straight lack that skill. So let me go back. I'm just gonna read the transcript to install these operating system files and make and of course you could use an internal extent. Oh, okay. All right, so he was basically just saying it in a different way. But install these yeah, I'm gonna have to just I feel like I'm gonna have to just read what the transcript says some of these times. Because man, is it difficult for me to follow along this damn transcript, bro. So to install these operating system files, I can't wait for this next video to come out, but every time I say that, it's always the one that I never thought would have done good. And it says, and make those drives bootable. Make those drives bootable so that you can start the operating system installation program when you start your computer. Okay, so I like that. So that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. That's probably gonna be more helpful, is if I can just put it there. Maybe I'll understand. So that you could start. My goodness. I hate this. I'm glad that like the sore throat is kind of going away, but now I'm developing a cough and it's not fun. I have took Dayquil. So hopefully I took Dayquil obviously in the morning. Right now it's 7 p.m. for me, so I gotta take NyQuil a little bit later today. So I'm hoping that I could feel good. But I know I'm sick because normally like I would have probably just been up playing games, doing my thing. And today, like as soon as I came back from urgent care after that terrible visit, I literally fell asleep for like 3 hours straight and I was like gone. And I could have slept longer, but my partner woke me up. So saying, and of course you could use internal solid state drives because it's bootable. Wait, what the hell? And make those drives. What the hell am I at? I put something like to install the operating system files and make those drives bootable so that you could start the operating system files and make those drives boot. Oh, I rewrote it. Okay, I'm like, what the hell did I just do? So, what the hell? How did I rewrite that? Where the hell am I at right now? I'm so lost. Oh, okay, that's where I was supposed to be. So it's supposed to say, so you can start the operating system installation program. I don't know how I did that. I put operating system and just started rewriting stuff. Okay, I thought I went crazy for a second there. So that you can start the operating system installation program. Damn it. Like, how did I fail? Installation program when your computer starts. So when you start the computer. So that's great. Perfection. So when you start the computer, some systems can also boot and install the operating system across the internet. So I'm gonna take a note of that some systems could do that. So can boot and install across the internet. Like I said, I feel like the actual job aspect of it is easy. It's the certifications that scares me. Oh, I didn't even notice. So now we're getting into a different boot method, which is going to be the internet-based ones that I just took a note on. So I guess they have internet-based ones, which is what that was about, and I accidentally wrote it in the wrong section, so I put some systems could be. So let me grab that, put a little arrow. Internet-based, which could be Linux distributions, it says. That's dope. Distributions. Mac OS recovery. Mac OS recovery installation. And then lastly, some Windows updates. So then that's good. Let's continue going. This one looks a little bit more that are designed with minimal download to get things started, and then it downloads any other code it might need from the internet. So then that's good. Has a recovery installation. So he gets a little bit more deeper about how Linux does it. So saying that Linux, well, it says a good example is Linux distributions that are designed with a minimal download to get things started, and then it downloads any other code. So I guess we can kind of take that down. So it starts with starts. Where is it at? With minimal download first. And we're just gonna put a comma, and we're gonna go then. So minimal download first, then downloads other codes, and it downloads other codes. That's pretty good. And then you got the Mac OS. I'm gonna kind of draw this to where, oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Actually, no, I think fine. Like that, so I can kind of know. And then we got the Mac OS recovery system, which is going to be, which is built into the BIOS. So we gotta make sure we write that down. So built into the BIOS, which I had no idea about, of course, because I don't have a Mac OS, that will go out to the internet and download versions of Mac OS to install. So built into the BIOS that will go out for installation pretty much to the internet. Gotta make that clear. For installation, perfection. And then we also gotta make sure to, let me look up boot methods, internet based for the operating system. Kind of so y'all could kind of see exactly what I'm getting into right now. And last but not least, we got Windows here. So Windows Updates also provides a way to install operating systems directly from an internet source. So, okay, I guess that was a little bit easier. So Windows Updates provides a way to install operating systems, to install OS directly from the internet. Okay, so then that's easier. I wish I had like a memory, like a picture perfect memory, so I don't have to keep rereading it. Damn, I tried to laugh. I almost fucking died. Legitimately, what the hell was that? I don't want to see what it looks like when I tried to laugh, bro, and I almost lost it there. It's hilarious. What the hell? Oops, wait a second. Alright, so let me go. Now we're going back into, so now we got that. That's good. Let's see if he has anything else that he has to say specifically. Oh, I did put Windows updates. That's funny. I didn't even know. So they're saying older operating systems used to do something a little bit different, which I guess is more external / hot swappable drives is what they used to do. Swappable drives. So that's crazy. But I guess it's for older concepts. So older OSs used to distribute their code on optical discs. So that's crazy. I don't even know what that looks like. All I care about is that we don't do it no more. Okay. I wonder if you're still able to do it. I believe so. Hey, what is up, Harsh? What is up? So on optical discs. I wonder if, does my voice sound a little bit different to y'all, or do I sound fine? I just know that I'm using a lot of pressure right now to even say, to even speak. Because, like, and that's never happened to me before where I get sick and I lose my voice. Like, that has never happened. Hope that I don't get fully sick, y'all. Y'all have no idea. I hate being sick. Hate it. Well, I'm sure everyone does, honestly. There's not one person that wants it. And DVD-ROM. So there's a standard format for taking an optical disc and taking everything on that disc. So I guess that's pretty much what this part is. So I'm just going to write this down. So some external devices or drives can mount an ISO image, which you're talking about is the optical drive image. But I wonder, are these still kind of like I know they're not modernly used, but I'm pretty sure I can still run into somebody who uses these. Like that has to be. Then boot USB or boot from the USB. So let's go here. So taking everything, creating a disk image known as the ISO disk. So I basically put distributes their codes on DVD-ROM comms on DVD-ROMs, and that basically they're talking about the ISO image, and they're saying that the ISO image. Let me just write that down. Is what it's called, I guess, when they take everything on that disk. Oh, wait, no, it says there's a standard format for taking an optical disk and taking everything on that disk and creating a disk image file. So creating a disk image file is called an ISO image, which would contain everything that would be found on an optical disk. So it's kind of like a copy. So it contains everything that you basically have on your optical disk. And then I guess from there, what happens? Oh, so you can configure and set up a entire, okay, so that's good. So you can configure and set up, oh my goodness, this is crazy, an entire operating system. I gotta make that a little bit bigger, but entire operating system installation on one single ISO image. Okay, on one single ISO image. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. And simply boot from that image. Wow. Simply boot from that image. And then he's saying that it's common, period, common when what was it? So this is a very common format to boot if you're using virtualization software. So I'm just going to put virtualization software. I'm not going to just put common. I'm just going to kind of relate that together. So if they asked me, I could know. And there are some external drives that will mount the ISO image and make that image appear as if it's a physical drive. Oh, damn, I almost fell forward. Then some physical drive. Something like that. So basically it's virtual, but there's some software. Oh my goodness, I hate this. That can make it physical or appear to be physical. And since this is on an external drive, you can disconnect it from one computer and connect it into another one, right? And take it to another computer and perform another installation. So that's crazy. And that is crazy. So since this is an external drive, you can disconnect and then reconnect on another computer. Oh my goodness, I feel like the more I talk, the more it hurts. On another computer and perform another installation. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I'm surprised. Do a lot of people do it this way? Well, I guess this is technically older. Perform another installation. I really want to see like how would these questions be asked? Like, are they going to try to go into detail about it, or are they just going to ask a question like, what is the more common way to transfer or to install an operating system? Is that what the question's going to be, or are they going to say exactly about all this stuff? I have no idea. I guess we'll have to end up seeing, the more that I'm learning and the more that I purchase for these practice exams. I know Exam Compass got a couple of practice exams. All right, let's see. So the same installation files on an external drive or hot swappable drive could also be copied to an internal drive. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. So now we're getting into the internal drives here. which I'm not gonna lie. Oh, an internal hard drive. Okay, but like I said, I believe we're still taking a deep dive into some of the older stuff. I guess this is probably the older way that they used to do it. Who knows? I guess it would go from, well, I don't know, because they said internet based, I'm assuming is newer. But I think when it comes to the external and maybe the internal drive, because right now we're not talking about the SSD, we're still currently talking about a hard drive. So I think this is still something that's possible. It just might not be the one that you would do often, unless you're using some old, probably computer. So the same installation files you have on an external drive. So say the notes, so the same info on external, you can copy, or would it be copy? Yeah, you can copy it to an internal one. Perfection. That's in your computer. So this means all of the installation files would be available on a local partition. I don't even know what a partition is. You said the question are more or less the kind of same that you would get on Exam Compass. Okay, so then that's pretty good then, because I do plan on purchasing, I want to say Professor Messer's exam questions, but then I also do want to I am going to be using what is it called? I'm gonna be using Exam Compass, sorry. I don't know why I was like so stuck for a second. So then that's good. So I probably gotta look at how they ask it on Exam Compass, because sometimes like I feel like I'm taking notes on some things and I can't really tell how they would ask that question. Like, are they gonna ask me for the genuine answer? Like, so I know everything about what I just wrote, or are they just gonna ask me something that's like, oh, what is the most quickest way to install? What was the oldest way to install? And it's just kind of like, I guess external hard drive swaps. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to take some of the Exam Compass quizzes, even though I probably wouldn't pass it yet, but just so that I can see how they'll ask it, so I'm not like confused. My goodness, bro. The internal hard drive. What the hell was I just writing? So something how it can basically. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. Cause I'm like, I don't really remember what this was. So this can it says the same info on an external drive, you can copy it to an internal drive, and then I'm basically going to write down that this means, oh, I forgot. Whatever, it's fine. So I'm gonna put this means all installation files would be be available on a local partition. Okay, sorry. Installation, you said heads up, Exam Compass doesn't have a 1202, still only shows 1102. Oh, it does? I thought I seen a 1202 on Exam Compass. Maybe I'm tripping. Oh, you know what? You're right. I think you're right. Oh, shoot. I didn't even know. Oh, yeah, you're right. Wow. Because I thought I had a 1202, but I actually, now that you said that, I was like, wait a second. Oh, wait, no. Oh, they do. It must be new. They don't have, I mean, they have, are these like, are those the same? Yeah, they have the practice test acronyms. Yeah, I think they do. Oh my goodness. So this means that all the installation, where the hell am I at? Files would be available on a local partition. And my fault, y'all. I'm super sick. Normally I have a lot more energy when it comes to doing these live streams, but I don't know. I'm sick as hell. And I mean, thank y'all for tuning in as I continue to still study, knowing that I'm sick and I probably should have took a damn break. On your computer, I do have to take a little bit of a note of what partition means. I'm not, because I think that was one of the questions that they also got me on. Cause I'm like, what? Or no, I think I got it right, but I just didn't know why. I think I guessed. And you simply boot from the partition. I think I'm saying it weird. Partition, yes, okay. And then perfect, boot from the partition, or from that partition. I don't like this word, bro. And install your operating system on another partition. Okay, so that's pretty easy enough. on another partition on that system. For him to mention that, people probably didn't do it on that system. So what exactly was I looking for? Oh yeah, I want to see the definition. So define partition OS. I don't know, operating system. A partition is an operating system context. Wait, what? Oh, in an operate. I was like, what the hell? Is a logical division of a single physical storage like an SSD or HDD into multiple separate sections, each functioning like an independent drive for organization. So what? They're basically what you call the storage side of things. Like organization, multi-boot performance. I know that's what disk partitioning is. A partition, a local division of a single physical storage device, like the SSD or the HDD. So right now we're talking about the hard drive. So okay, I guess I get it. Into multiple separate sections, each functioning like an independent drive. Oh, okay. So it's like okay, understood. Move on. Back to here. Back to here. Actually, no. Let me take a note of that real quick. I forgot. I thought I wrote it. Have y'all ever been like laying down and then you like dream of doing something and you swear on everything you did it, but you actually just dreamed of it because you're like so tired and you didn't get up? That is kind of like what just happened right now. Even though I'm up, I was like, I definitely took that definition. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that happened. I'm probably like just sick as hell and still tired. That's what's going on here. So of a single physical storage component or device, and then we're going like the SSD or the hard drive into multiple. Yeah, I think I'm kind of understanding what a partition is. Separate sections, but I'm assuming it's like not non-physical. I'm assuming it's more on the computer. You're separating certain things into different partitions. Is how that would go. Who knows? Functioning like independent drives, basically. Yes, I like that. I think I'm understanding it. It's just probably explaining it might be difficult. He says, sorry, I meant 1202 isn't there for practice test by exam topic. Oh. No, yeah, that sucks. I hate that they do that because like you're talking about these right here. Yes, I love taking these. I don't understand why they don't do it for 1202. Oh yeah, you're right, because they do have it for 1102, but they don't have it for 1202. Damn, that sucks. They do need to get it together. Like, I need some practice test topics. Because I was just taking these recently. I did the CPU, the power supply, the BIOS, and stuff like that. Oops, I let my video turn off. That sucks. How long have I been on live for? I feel like I'm just 44 minutes. Damn, it doesn't even feel like it. By the way, if y'all are new here, make sure you end up hitting that sub button. I'm sorry, my energy is a little bit down. I'm just sick, but trust me, every single day, I haven't missed a day. Today, I almost missed today, but I haven't missed a day of coming on live, so, and studying for this topic. And I plan to study this all the way up until I can hopefully become a network engineer. And I've been just trying to put in the work. Y'all know what I mean? Just trying to put in the work. So hopefully y'all can relate to that and y'all hit that sub button and come join me on this journey. I do have more energy on other days. So if you don't think so, catch me next week and you'll see my energy will be there. Today I'm like dying. Oh my goodness. Dude, I'm only 3 minutes into this video. I was like, I'm getting a lot of information. I'm not even done. That sucked. I guess because, yeah, never mind. I guess that makes sense. So we got the partition. So now we're on our partition. So let's continue moving forward. What the hell did I write? Oh, I didn't write this. Alright, I was like, I'm so lost on what I was just writing here. So to install and boot from separate drive, and then create and boot from a new partition, which we already basically got. But I mean, if I were to write down exactly what he were to write instead of what he's saying, maybe I could get through these videos a little bit quicker. But he does give like some good information outside of it. But if I'm able to just write what the hell he has on these slides and get away with it, I just don't think so. I feel like you have to kind of hear what he's saying about it, because you might end up screwing yourself. Damn, brother, like so many things just happen at once right now. I'm utterly pissed. Like, please tell me I have a rag in here. I might have to use some clothes. No, I'm just gonna hold you. Give me 1 second, y'all. Damn, I don't want to use this. What about this one? No, these are clean. I literally just sat here and spilled freaking juice on my desk, and I would leave it, but I might make a mark. Just give me 1 second. I gotta find a rag or something. I should have a rag somewhere. It's just like terrible. 1 second. I'm back. Let's clean up this damn mess. Can't believe this happened to me. And right next to my PS5 too. If that were to get on there, that would have been the worst day of my life. I gotta throw this away. I don't even know why that's there. Okay, let's continue. But, oh wait, it's on my phone. What am I talking about? So I put multi-boot. So now we're getting into the multi-boot side of things here. Oh, I didn't know you could do multiple operating system types on the same computer. Oh, because I thought for me to install, wait, operating system. I thought for me to install Linux that I would have had to get rid of my Windows. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. That was probably a dumb thought. Or probably had to do that back in the day. On one system. And let's go take note of this. Oh my god, my voice. 2 or more operating systems. That's crazy. I would have never known. That's actually pretty cool. I do plan on learning Linux very shortly, or installing Linux very well, actually not really, because I want to learn Windows first, which I think he does a deep dive into anyway. But I wanted to do something on my YouTube channel, which kind of makes me do hands-on stuff for my Windows file system, for the NTFS and Windows operating system, just to kind of see, like, I guess some of the stuff I could basically learn on my own, kind of dive in and see what the hell it is, and then eventually move forward. I think that'll be super cool. The content is definitely going to be more cooler. I feel like now I'm going to really be getting hands-on with things. I'm going to be trying to use ticketing systems, Active Directory. Obviously, it's not going to probably be what companies really use, because I think you have to pay for it. I'd rather do that later. But I plan to use something that's a little bit more similar, just so that y'all can see some hands-on content, building PCs and stuff like that. I think that'll be super lit. We're finally getting into some of those crazy things. So we got to get into types of installations. So we finally got into a bunch of different, so I guess we wrote down a bunch of different ways of how you can install this operating system, in the sense of you could do the boot system. Wait, what the hell? Oh, you could do the boot system with a USB storage. You could do a network boot with a Pixie. You could do a solid state drive / hard drive boot. You could, and that could either be internet based as well. Then you could do an external / hot swappable drive, and then you could do ISO images. I think that's a part of the, oh, never mind. Yeah, ISO image is a part of the external hot swappable drive. And then you could do an internal hard drive, which I think is still kind of a part of the solid state drive / hard drive thing going on there. But then specifically, of course, we got deeper into like the hard drive side of things, internal and external, and how that would work, on how you could pretty much install the operating system. So we got a bunch of different types. I think probably the most common one, I mean, he didn't really say he didn't really say what the most common one was. It must be the USB one. I feel like for him to kind of mention that one first. But let me see. So what is the most common way to install an OS. I'm assuming it's either the USB or it's the solid state drive. So saying using a bootable USB drive created from an ISO image which you insert into the computer and then configure. So this is the most common way. So it is the USB. But when I was talking about the USB drive though, he didn't mention the ISO image. The ISO image came when we started talking about external drives. So that's a little bit confusing. Created from the ISO image. Oh, I like how it's the exact video that I'm kind of listening to. So you would get the OS file, create a bootable USB, boot from the USB, change the order. But what's confusing me is them saying the ISO image. Because like I understand that we did the ISO image, but we were talking about external drives can mount an ISO image and then you would boot from the USB. So how is it getting an ISO image if it doesn't have an external drive? Oh, is the external drive the USB drive? Wait, hold on. I think that was probably one of the dumb things I just done there. Let me see. Is this an external drive? Oh. We figured it out, y'all. We figured it out. Okay. They should have said that because I'm not going to hold you. I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay, well, it's because they put it in 2 different sections. Because how are we going to talk about the USB storage, the USB being bootable, and then we go a whole nother way into networking solid state drives to then link it back to the USB? Like, I got lost. I got lost as hell, but thanks. Alright, so that's why I'm happy I like can look some of this stuff up. Alright, let's keep going. We got types of installations. So, number 1. So I guess there's type of installations about how you'd want to install. So I guess this is the common one, is what he said. Let me just put a little dash for myself, for Marzi. So this is the most common one, is to clean install. Or I guess, unless that means to get a clean install. No, I'm just kidding. But basically to wipe. Oh, okay, so wipe the state clean in the partition. So that probably could make that a little bit better for me. So wipe the state clean in the partition and then reinstall. Perfect. And then last but not least, migration tools can help. Tools can help. So when you're wiping it, you're basically deleting everything and starting over from scratch. So I gotta make that clear. So that's pretty much what's going on. And starting from scratch. Perfect. So it's saying there's also a different way where if you already have a working operating system, but you just want to install a different version, that you're able to do a in-place upgrade. Because you want to basically keep all the applications. So instead of wiping everything, you want to keep some things, or keep all your applications. So all applications and all data. Then you would want to perform an in-place upgrade. So okay, so that's pretty good that they have a way to not delete everything, but mainly people would prefer to just clean everything entirely. So it's basically saying that it means that you can update the operating system, but you don't have to install any new applications or recover any of your data files from backup. So I guess that one, I'm surprised that one's not more common, but it's probably because maybe there's some issues that go along with that. So let me go and see. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything, but you don't have to install any new applications. You don't have to recover any of your old files. If you want to, oh, I forgot to put keep. So let me just put keep all. And then lastly, now we're getting into image deployment. So it's saying in many organizations, this process is streamlined by image deployment, or creating an image deployment means you would install an operating system on a computer and then add applications in the configuration necessary to run your environment. Once you have this exactly the way you would like, you can create an image of that system and simply install the image on all of the other computers. Oh, that's crazy. So basically you just do it in this like little place so that other computers can just copy it instead of having to go one by one. So that's pretty good. So streamlined by creating an image deployment. So when organizations like to do this, I'm assuming if they want to have all their creators or all their workers use Linux, they're just going to have it kind of set up in an image deployment, and then pretty much all those people that are there, I don't know what you would call them, those technicians, they can just install it, I guess is what that would be, or how that would work. Pretty sure. So you would install an operating system on a computer, then add the application. So install on PC, add apps, applications. Let me not do apps. Applications, and the configurations. Add configurations. And then lastly, once you have this exactly the way you want, you can create an image. Create an image. And then simply install the image on all other computers. So simply install on other computers. You can also completely automate this process. So from the very beginning to the very end of the re-imaging process is something that doesn't require any type of human intervention. All right, so I'm just going to put completely automate because I feel like I understand what automating something is. Completely automate the process. Actually, I'll just put so no one has to, I guess, intervene. Or, yeah, so no one has to really intervene. Perfection, we got that down pat. And then if you don't want to carry around an external hard drive, so I guess now we're getting into... So now I guess we're going to get back into the USB or the network drive, I'm guessing. Oh, wait, no, because I'm forgetting the bootable USB is technically... I keep forgetting. The USB is the external hard drive. Why do I keep saying that? Or it's like kind of in the same realm. So then now we're going to get a little bit deeper into the remote network installation, but I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow stream. So we're getting a little bit deeper into this stuff. That's pretty cool. I do want to, just because I do have it in the title, that I would be doing some job huntings. My voice hurts like hell. So part of me is tired of talking. But I'm going to do it for y'all. So I'm realizing, actually, I guess I'll turn that off later. Gosh, I don't need this camera no more. And because now we're about to get into, what is it called? We're about to get into a little bit of what is going on with these job applications. We've got to see basically what type of offers are there. By the way, if you're new here, make sure you end up hitting that like button. Or if you're just here, hit that like button. That'll be great. Oops. Alright, so real quick, I want to be able to go based on, I could do internship or location. I'm thinking let's look at contracts. Temporarily volunteer. They have 280 volunteers. Let's go look at some contract positions. They probably expect you to like really know your thing. You know what I mean? Alright, I'm gonna go show y'all right now. I'll turn this damn camera off. Perfect. So, so this one is the help desk specialist one. It's actively hiring. It's a contract, 140 applicants. Let's see exactly what they're looking for. So they said provide technical support for computers, software, mobile devices, network access, respond to help desk tickets in a timely customer focused manner, troubleshoot hardware and software issues escalating when necessary, assist with basic AV setup and support, including conference room equipment presentations and display systems. Maintain inventory IT and AV equipment as needed. Experience in an IT help desk, working knowledge of Windows, Mac OS, common software applications, and basic networking concepts. That's why I feel like with what I'm currently learning now about operating systems, I feel like in the end it kind of like gets you familiar with so many other things a little bit later. Familiarity with AV equipment such as projectors, displays, microphones, stuff like that. That seems pretty cool. This is a help desk analysis position for $20 to $25. So help desk duration 6+ months, 100% remote. I like that. Her level is kind of an associate. Don't know what that means. Oh, you can't see all the jobs no more. Why do they always do that? Bachelor's degree, help desk, customer support, Active Directory, computer networking, analysis skills, IT support, customer service. The consultant will provide LAN support and support for computer equipment located throughout. Oh, give me 1 second because I don't understand why it's not trying to show me all the jobs. Normally it should. You shouldn't have to sign in. I'm starving. I'm not even gonna hold you. I just want to see, do they have it to where, my goodness, I have to basically, oh yeah, wow. That was indeed. I have to spit this out. I don't like that. Hold on. I'm like, All right, sorry. I had to spit that out. I didn't want to do it on camera. That was crazy. Ain't no way I was keeping that. Ain't no freaking way. I don't know what the hell that was. All right, so let's go and get back to the live screen. So you have IT technician, and this one doesn't seem too bad at all. This is in Michigan, I guess. It says set up and install and configure computer hardware peripherals and other technology. Provide technical support to end users, including resolving hardware and software issues. Assist users with setting up and configuring their workstations. Onboard users of accounts and devices, 365, Entra, Exchange. That's not bad neither. Assist with IT projects, including system upgrades, installations, deployments. These are actually some pretty good jobs. I just really hope that I'm like learning everything that needs to be learned. Truly, 21 to 31 an hour. It's the help desk technician. Provides daily face-to-face support to the U.S. military, civilian personnel, as well as NATO's military. Provides first contact and incident resolution, customers with hardware and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. 3 years of experience, bachelor's degree. May substitute for additional years. Must possess and maintain a secret clearance. Alright, that's not bad. You have a lot of different things. Preferred qualifications is experience in multinational customers. Experience in deployed environment preferred. Experience with user administrative and service account creation. Experience with direct customer support for both internal and external. Experience with group policy. Multiple OS scripting languages. Ugh, I hate this. I know how to code, but I would never want to do it. ServiceNow, SCCM, Exchange, and IDPA technologies. VMware, Horizon View. Horizon is crazy. ITIL Foundations, V4 or version 4 preferred, okay? Like, please have this one. This is desk side support. 61 to 73K a year. It's crazy pay right there. Candidates, UPS units, primarily inspection. Let's look, see if there's like a bunch of different ones. I'm kind of trying to see like maybe some entry level positions. It's full time, 15 an hour. Full time support agent. This doesn't seem too bad, but I bet you I'm surprised a lot of this isn't. Is this remote? I do wonder if I'm a good fit. I need to know if this is remote because I don't live there. State or federal work experience. No, I'm just kidding. Disability insurance, life insurance is nice. They do offer that. That is pretty good. On to the next, another $15 an hour entry level technical. Oh wait, is that what I'm on? I think that is what I was on. I'm not positive. That might have just been. Who knows? I just can't wait to end up diving into this. And I think one of my biggest things is like, I feel like I'm like learning so slow, but at the end of the day, I only have an hour out of my day to really study, so I can only do so much. But it's just because, like, I think I'm currently, 10 days into December, and I feel like I just kind of learned about the operating system and the file system, and I haven't really done anything more than that yet. So it's kind of crazy. So let's get this bag. Yes, sir. Hey, exactly. Exactly. So it's kind of tough because a part of me feels like, damn, I wish I could be doing like had more time in my day so that I could study a little bit more. But at the end of the day, like that's why one of my things is I know I'm gonna learn everything at some point, and I know that I'm going to eventually get into network engineering. It's inevitable. It's just kind of about when will it happen. You know what I mean? Because it's a little bit difficult to balance it with my schedule. So it's like, when will it happen? Where will it be? How will it work? Because my days are just so damn busy. But I do have faith and confidence in the fact that I know I could do it. It just strictly comes down to executing, and basically not probably I would say is to not care when it does happen. Like, of course, shoot for 2027, 2028. But also, if it did take a little bit longer, just because I don't have much time to study, it's like, but the thing is I know I could do the actual work of it. I know if I got a job and I had hands-on help desk, like I know I could do the work. I'm talking about, I guess, like certification side of things and degree side of things. I don't have too much time to like learn as much as I could. But I know experience is definitely better than certifications anyway. But a part of me, I still want to kind of, as of now, at least learn a lot more of the basics. So it's not like I'm walking into this damn job and I know nothing about computers. I want to at least know something and be able to do some things. Especially if I'm going to say that I could do it, I want to hope that I could do it and I'm not lying to nobody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, I know how to use Active Directory, but I only used it once in a YouTube video and I'm like, well, do I know how to use it? Like, I don't know. So I want to be able to like at least walk in knowing something. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's just kind of what my mindset is. It's like I just want to walk in knowing that I could do it, and then hopefully be able to get that job experience that could teach me a lot more than probably just getting this certification or doing these certifications. But it's just about when I'm free and when I could ultimately end up making it happen. But I just have to have faith that it will happen. I gotta have faith that God got me. I remember, like, I don't know what it is, but just I've been praying so much about like making my path clear. I would tell him how I'm in fear of like, because I feel like I'm walking blindly into some things or walking like by faith, but it's scary. And I feel like he keeps revealing to me like what it is or like what the purpose of it is. So I'm just gonna have to continue to just believe in that, continue to move in faith, man, and just hope that at some point everything that I would want to happen or just hopefully this is in his will. Which I personally think it is because I feel like he's just showed me too many things where it's like this can't be a coincidence, you know what I mean? Like I feel like he really wants me to pursue this and that he's just gonna end up making that path clear for me. And one of these days I just gotta be faithful and hope that that is what ends up happening. I do, like I said, I put a lot of pressure on myself for no reason. I'm the only one who tells myself, you need to get this done in 2027, 2028. Nobody else does. And then obviously, I'm talking about becoming a network engineer. IT support is different. I'm hoping to do it by this year or 2026. But the problem is that it really still depends on what time. And then I do work another job, like my main job that pays the bills, does everything, right? I know I look young as hell, but I'm 22, have an apartment, have a car, got stuff I got to pay for, right? Everything that comes with it, groceries, laundry, what, gas, right? All of that is coming out of my pocket. So it's kind of like I can't really sacrifice this main job for an help desk role. So it kind of sucks because when you're not able to do that, then you start having to be a little bit picky about what roles you can accept. And I think that's what scares me, is like thinking into the future of like, am I going to be able to get a part-time role, or am I going to be able to get something that can match up with my job or whatever? And it's like, I feel like normally the people who win in a field like this are people who take whatever they can get as experience, and it just sucks because if I did that, it just it would be too risky. I don't have people that I could fall back on. I'm someone who takes care of myself, and I'm the only one that I could rely on, you know? So it's like if I end up screwing around with myself and I mess that up because I'm like, you know what, let me leave this main job and just start trying to pursue IT. If I screw up, I screw up, and this isn't the time and place where you want to screw up, especially when you have a lot of things that rely on you yourself getting it done. Would be a little bit different if I still lived with the parents or lived with grandparents. You know what I'm saying? I would have been like, let's take the risk. But it's like, nah. When you have your own apartment, you have your own stuff. Like, you gotta really be calculated. You gotta be strategic, and sometimes that could result, I feel like, in like being fearful about taking certain things or doing certain things. But I had a dream that, or something where I was like, I landed a role that was like so perfect for my position at work, and I was like, maybe that could be it. It was like this little part-time position. But then also too, obviously, one of the good things is no matter kind of where you work, they kind of have an IT team there anyway. So hopefully I could do something like that, whether it's in the my company, which is still a little bit more difficult. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not just as easy as like, let me go and jump over, right? You gotta wait until things open up, and nothing's open. So it's kind of like either I can wait on that and I just stack up certifications, which is kind of what I was thinking. But I think if I find the right part-time job that like literally has like the perfect hours, but like what are the odds that me out of 200 people would get picked for it? But it would have to be those like positions that I would apply for. And then if I don't get picked, I guess it's just kind of me waiting at that point, like just putting out my resume towards those companies that would fit my schedule perfectly, but then also still trying to check if there's any internal transfers that I could possibly do at my current career or my current place. And then that would probably have to be the goal. But if y'all are new here, man, make sure you end up hitting that like button, and y'all end up hitting that sub button. If you want to see someone grind every single day to becoming a network engineer or just becoming what they want to be in a career-based field, this is the place to be. I previously have done this with web dev, where I documented about 7 months of my journey of trying to become a web developer. In particular, I wanted to do it as a side hustle, and we completed that, but I documented the entire thing. So this is what I kind of plan to do here. And there's a bunch of different topics I do want to get into. So if you're not like interested in IT, I feel like the point of the channel isn't about IT. The point of the channel is about me becoming something or me learning something. So right now, it is IT for the time being, but then eventually, if I'm writing like an ebook, I'm documenting that. If I'm good getting into boxing, I want to document that. If I'm, you know, wanting to learn how to draw, I'm gonna document that, right? Just something where I'm always learning and becoming something new or improving. And that's the point of this channel, is just to show y'all. Like, have you ever looked at somebody and you thought, damn, I wonder how they got there? Like, how did that artist now know how to paint this beautiful painting? For me, I'm someone where I love that concept, and I'm like, I could do that for other people. If other people aren't going to do it, let me do it. You know what I mean? Where I'm just going to, like I said, I documented my web dev journey and we completed it to the extent that I want to go. And then now we're doing the same thing here. I'm already documenting a whole nother series that should be coming out way after this series. about like I believe monetization. I think another one was something else. But the point is that this channel is about having different chapters of just becoming something new or learning something new. And hopefully y'all could end up liking that. I know sometimes, you know, especially with joining at this time, some people might think, oh, but you might just stop studying, you might stop going on live. But my biggest proof is that I did it for 7 months, and basically in total, all around, I think it's been about 8, 9 months of me doing this. If you want to be like realistic and add everything all together of me constantly coming on live and uploading videos and basically trying to show y'all the journey, it's been probably about 6, 8 months, maybe, or 7, 8 months, something like that. So that's crazy for once for me to even be able to do it for that long. But we're just gonna continue going, gonna continue pushing and just documenting everything, and of course still having our little achievement videos because people love to see a little bit of an achievement, right? They want to see what you can gain, what you could get. But you know, because I know one day when I pass the CompTIA A plus, a lot of people are gonna watch these live streams and they're gonna be like, "Wow, this was her studying for the CompTIA A plus." It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the point of this channel. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I am going to be signing off. I wish I could have stayed on longer. My voice hurts. If I probably would have stayed on longer if I didn't feel so damn sick. I do normally have a lot more energy, but I'm sick. Okay, give me some grace. But I'll be catching you on the next one. Love y'all. Y'all are super goated. Deuces.